Hello. Um, Again, let's start a new review. Uh, this one is for the XM Studios Lizard, and I'm gonna start with a quick unboxing. Oh, this one. Oh, it's very nice. We'll take a look at it later. And this is the print. Let me pause here for a second. Okay, we'll remove the box. I guess so. I kind of like that all the boxes kind of look the same. I just wish they're the same size, or at least one of the dimensions be the same, so you can stack them one way or another. Oh, this is a big base. Maybe too heavy. Wow. Okay, I need to be careful with this. I'm gonna pause again and take some pieces out of the box and unwrap them. It's just gonna take too long. Hello. Okay. So this is the XM Studios Lizard. Uh, it's pretty heavy. I already put him on the base to save some time because the tail it's not as easy uh, as I thought to put it back there. It did take me a while. Uh, yeah, my first impression is yeah, I like the way it was done. The coat looks like a little bit dirty, worn, and damaged. Um, the shirt ripped. Um, the texture is very well done. I mean, anytime you do a lizard, I guess the texture needs to be spot on. Um, the base is pretty wide, um, so there's no risk of the statue tipping over or anything like that. And the concept, um I like the concept. It's like he's in the sewer, and there's like some sewer, dirty water flowing that way, and he's kind of climbing out of it, I guess. Um, Very well done. This one comes with two portraits. I like them both. And let me see. Let me just start putting the pieces together here. Hold on a second. The way. So it's like a supposed to be like a metal bar, and that goes in there. Again, there's a magnet, so its magnet is very strong. Let's take a look at the hands. Wow, very well done. The nails, the claws. Yes, this would be right there. Both arms have magnets. Let's take a look at the portraits. Look at them side by side. They're very similar. This one looks more like a T-Rex, kind of dinosaur. I like the way they did the mouth inside, the teeth. The tongue kind of worries me. Seems like very easy to break, so we have to be very careful. The eyes are very nice. So I'll put this one, which is my favorite. And again, there's a magnet right there. Okay, yeah, it's pretty easy to assemble. It does come with a, I guess, a handbook. I think Electro comes with the same type of handbook. It shows where the parts are supposed to go in the box, where they're supposed to go on the statue. It's a nice picture of the lizard there. Another picture of it. Instructions on, I guess, how to care for it. No, it's very nice. And this is basically a quick overview of the story of the lizard. Actually, I'm going to pause it right now so we can take a look at the comic book and then take a closer look at the statue itself. Okay, I'm back. Um, let's take a quick look before we continue with the statue on the lizard. Most of you are probably aware, but if you're not familiar with the lizard, as you can see there, origin and first appearance of the lizard, Dr. Kurtz Connors. And that's on Amazing Spider-Man number 6. This is a, I guess, mid-grade copy. Still very nice. You can see how he looked. And the other one is Amazing Spider-Man 44. And as you can see on the right is the second appearance of the lizard. That's a pretty cool cover. As you can see on the second cover, he's wearing the white coat instead of the purple, I guess, coat. So as usual, again, I'll put some information here on the side as far as the comic, so you can get a quick look how he looked on the original, classic comic book. But basically, he was a doctor with the army, and I guess while serving in the army as a surgeon, he was wounded in a blast, and I guess he had to had his arm amputated. But then when he came back, he kind of became obsessed on fixing his arm, and he tried to do a lot of research. And I guess he noticed that some reptiles can regrow, their limbs or their tail, whatever. And he thought that he could apply the same concept to himself, like regrowing his arm. Basically, like a reptilian regeneration, study. And he came up with some kind of serum, and ended up taking it himself. Which, well, first I think he tested on animal and all that, and I guess it worked. But his wife didn't want him to try on himself, but he ended up trying on himself. And once he tried on himself, yes, his arm grew back, but unfortunately had some bad side effects, as usual, to make the story interesting. And the side effect was that turning him to the lizard, and he had some super power and agility and all that, but it made him a little bit crazy, I guess, too. Um, so yeah, that turned him into a monster. Um, that story kind of reminds me, if you watch my other video about Morbius, there's some parallels, that kind of remind me of the Morbius story. He has that blood disorder and he tried to get better, and everything kind of backfired. But it's a very good story, very interesting. Again, he was only in first appearance in Amazing Spider-Man #6, so he was on the earlier villains. Um, so yeah, if you don't know about the lizard, that's a quick overview. So let's go back to the statue and continue taking a closer look at the statue. Again, he was on Spider-Man #6. In the second appearance, was Amazing Spider-Man 44. So let's go back to the statue. Let me pause here for a second. Okay, going back to the statue. So as you can see, uh, compared to the scorpion and the Mysterio statue, uh, the lizard has a bigger footprint, basically a much wider base, which is something I kind of like about it. I was disappointed, as I commented on my previous video, that as nice as the scorpion statue is, I wish they would have used a wider base so it doesn't tip over so easily. So, well, let's look at the statue. Let's start with the portrait. Very nice. The way they did it, the teeth. You can see the shirt and the pants. You can see the texture. And the tail. And let's take a look side by side here. Let me just grab the other, so you can see kind of side by side what do they look like. The one that I have on my hand kind of reminds me more of like a dinosaur, like a T-Rex. The other thing I noticed, one, the one on the left is kind of looking to the right, and the one on the right is kind of looking to the left. So if that's a factor on how you display it. Let me put this one back down. Let's continue to look at the other side. As usual, I take these videos in 4K. I shoot these videos in 4K because you need to see the minor details of the statue to really see how well it was done. And that's the base. As far as the height, let me stand back so you can see height comparison. I mean, I'll post the specs there on the video as far as height and weight and all that. But you can see it. It's a lot shorter than the Mysterio, but it's a lot wider. Going back to how the, and this is all, sculpted. I like the way they did the coat. This thing has some damage to it. And take a look from this side. As I said, the tail is very long and it's kind of hard to install, I guess, but it's very nice. So I'll do a quick pause here so I can put the other portrait so you can see what the other portrait looks on the statue. Okay, so this is the other portrait. And as I mentioned, see how it's looking the other way now? So depending how you want to position, that may be a deciding factor on which portrait to use, which way you want him to look. Let's take a look on this side. Again, his mouth inside almost looks like wet. I mean, it's just as nice as the other one. There's some minor differences, but I like both of them. One thing I forgot to show was the print that comes with it. And that's the print that comes with it. Let's stand back so you see the full print. Looks very nice. Basically like a print of the statue, basically the same kind of position and kind of same look. Okay. So just another look, both of them side by side. Actually, this way. So you can see how the, I'm in trouble zooming. Okay, how they look side by side. Again, I kind of like this one a little bit better, and I believe that's what's on the print, but it's not like the other one is bad at all. So one final look from the base. I think that's a better angle. As I mentioned, the only part that on the base that's removable is this one. All the other ones are pretty much fixed. I like how they did that metal plate there. It looks like some wet spots. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, the other side. So well, that's it. I'm gonna add some high resolution pictures at the end as usual. And if you like to see the other statues, I already have reviews on the other two on the back, and a few other ones too. So if you have any questions or comments, just put them below there, and I'll try to answer. Okay. Thank you.